So I guess Marco stole my thunder. I know this does not sound like an Israeli accent, maybe a little bit, but I grew up in New York and moved to Israel about 15 years ago. RankAbove has been around for almost the same amount of time. I'm going to talk about two words that everybody here probably loves to hear about all day long, which are SEO. So I'm going to give everybody some tips as to what's actually changing in 2018. And Gdpr, maybe a word that some of you have heard about recently. So first about RankAbove, we founded the company in 2007. We started it as a SEO consulting company. We never took any sort of outside venture capital for the business. We actually bootstrapped the technology development through the revenue from our services business. We're an SEO software company, so we built SEO software for very large-scale projects. We do a lot of work in the content field. A lot of publishers work with us. So when President Trump talks about fake news, we may be behind some of it. Not really in terms of fake news, but we just make sure it comes up at the top of the search results. Working with publishers like CNN and Viacom for their MTV brands, BET and other publishers. We work a lot in the e-commerce field. 90% of our business is US focused, companies out of the US, and 10% is European and Israeli. Again, we specialize in solutions for complex SEO problems. So if you've got a very, very large website, chances are you have all sorts of technology issues that are probably preventing you from succeeding. Our software solves those issues and lets you know what's actually going on. So don't believe me, believe the people who like to pay us money. These are some of our customers. Many of them have been with us for a very long period of time, from our consulting days to using our software. We brought our consulting service back as a managed service after so many of our customers used the software and said, this is awesome, but our team needs assistance to really figure out some of the larger scale type of issues. So we built additional software to help that happen. The other thing we built, as you see that we have a whole bunch of different e-commerce sites here, we also built an automated feed technology, which means we scan a company's website every single morning or multiple times a day, and we build a feed based on the products that currently exist on their site, and they can use all of that for their advertising targets, whether it be across Amazon, eBay, Rakuten, Google, or any other sort of platform. So what's changed in the SEO industry in 2018? But before we get to that, how many people here currently have an SEO program at their companies? Wow, I expected everybody to be doing SEO. I guess not everybody runs a company or has a website. So it's pretty much, I would say it's the #1 source of traffic for most of our customers, and I'm going to go into to what's changed slightly around that. Google traffic is more important than ever. And the reason it's so important is because clicks are actually down across organic search traffic by about 5% in the past year. Year-over-year growth is actually on the decline, not growing. There are a lot of different reasons for that, but the reality is that if you want to be able to compete in a Google search result these days, you need to focus on being in the top position or top 3 positions, because if you're not there, you're being pushed down by Google Shopping, you're being pushed out by the local pack and Google My Business, and all sorts of other wonderful products that Google might be offering themselves directly. It's still all about the keywords. If you're not using the right keywords, then you're probably losing out on a very significant portion of business. An example of that is a big publisher that we worked with came to us during the last US election. And they said, look, we want to rank Hillary Clinton #1 in Google News. We said, that's great, but what about Hillary Clinton? Just having results for Hillary Clinton is not necessarily going to drive the kind of relevant traffic you're looking for. So what we started doing with them was we actually did trending analysis throughout the day to figure out what are people actually searching for, what's people's search behavior, and they tweaked all of their articles prior to going live, or even sometimes after they went live on the site, in order to be able to get the most relevant traffic for the keywords that are being searched. It wasn't changing the article from removing the word Hillary Clinton, but it sometimes just meant adding a few other words to go alongside it. So I already mentioned Google Shopping. Site structure, excuse me, is once again everything. So many companies think, I'm going to create great content, everybody's going to come. It doesn't happen. If Google can't find the content on your site, if your internal linking structure is not strong, you're going to lose. One other thing I could tell you, that a company came to us a few weeks ago and said, look, I've got this amazing site. We're market leaders, but we don't rank. Their developers forgot to remove a tiny little line of code which prevented search engines from actually crawling their website when they relaunched. This happens all the time, but software tools can find these things very, very quickly and prevent both embarrassment and layoffs within a company when somebody's messed up. More publishers are focusing right now on using search trends to be able to drive traffic to their site by, once again, everything from content planning calendars to making sure that they're the most relevant for the keywords and using the right keywords that people actually search for. Rather than, one example is if you're a British company coming into the US and you're an e-commerce site, you can't sell pants, right? You have to, or vice versa, because they mean different things in different countries. And I could tell you many, many times companies actually mess that up. So using the right keyword on your site is extremely important. The other thing is that marketing dollars are actually shifting back to SEO and PPC for the first time in a very long time, away from Facebook. Anybody who sells a product is moving their money back into direct sales channels, whether it be PPC or SEO. And Facebook is not going to suffer. Their earnings were fantastic, and they're going to continue to be that way. But the marketing dollars are shifting back when people need to be able to drive that traffic. So how will GDPR affect SEO? First of all, it's too early to really tell. But what I can tell you is that it's a huge growth opportunity for SEO because it's the only channel that you don't actually have to worry about GDPR regulations in terms of where's your ad being shown, who's it being shown to, because that doesn't exist. Google's just ranking the results, and then you're getting that traffic. You have to make sure that your site is compliant. But in terms of an actual, where your marketing dollars are going, if you're going to spend money anywhere, I would definitely invest it heavily in SEO because you don't have that issue. The other thing that has been impacted slightly, and again, early days, is conversions in UI have been slightly affected. Many US companies are actually going with a double opt-in type of solution right now, which is actually affecting their conversion rates. And the other really important piece of information, it's the first time we've actually seen, looking across all of our customers' analytics, is that email marketing for the first time is not actually outpacing SEO. It was the only channel that always outpaced SEO. I guess many users took the opportunity to go ahead and actually remove themselves from email lists as their GDPR notices came in. And the big prediction for today is that GDPR compliance will actually become part of the Google algorithm. If you're not GDPR compliant, eventually within the next, I would say, 12 to 18 months, Google will no longer be ranking you in the positions that you should be in, but it's probably not an issue for all European companies since you have to be compliant. And if anybody has any questions, I'm around. Happy to answer your SEO questions, both big and small. Thank you very much.